everybody, to the episode of Voices of the Industry. This is your host, Mike Pugh here, and co-hosting with me today, we got Kyle Hardin with us. What's up, man?
Howdy, howdy.
And, this is, again, Voice of the Industry. This is a podcast dedicated to highlighting various roles and people who work on your favorite movies and TV shows. And today, we want to continue to switch things up. We had to catch him before he blew up and, we couldn't get a hold of him. He's got a upcoming short film that everyone's bound to want to check out. Very amazing, very inspiring. And so we're going to be talking with Jon Densk. What's up, man?
Hello. Hi. How's it going? I'm explosive because I have IBS.
Now, we should also mention that Jon is the founder of Studio Fresco Animation.
Yeah, founder of Studio Fresco and a talented animator for about, say, like a decade, Jon?
Yeah, I guess it would be like 10 years now.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I think you're one of the first guys who's been like hardcore in animation that we brought on. 2D animation, right?
Cool. Yeah, strictly.
Nice.
I've tried to learn CG, but my brain just can't do it.
And then, so Jon, for you, is it all traditional hand-drawn, or do you also do the puppet animation?
I do everything hand-drawn.
Okay.
I try, again, puppets, I tried, but my patience is so thin.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I understand that. That's fair.
No, yeah, working in software is a completely different beast. I respect doing everything manually by hand. Do you do like straight ahead or like keyframe animation? How do you plan your stuff out?
It kind of depends on the shot. If I'm like, for my short film, I had kind of everything, what I wanted in each shot in my head a little bit, or at least just like in my heart. And I guess like I finally understood what Glenn Keane would say when he would be like, animate from the heart. Like when I was a student in school, I didn't really know what that meant other than like, I'm going to feel in my chest and draw really hard. I'm animating from the heart. Like I really thought that's what it meant. And then once I started crafting this story and animating just like truly from the heart, it just like flowed out of me. So like a lot of times it would be keyframes and then going between those and stuff, but sometimes it was straight ahead. I mean, like there was a shot with I think like 12 or so characters at once, and I did it all straight ahead, like even the in-betweens.
Oh, wow.
Like they loop at
Wow.
a certain point, but that one was pretty wild that I was able to pull it off.
Dude, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so I guess we just, rewind it back a little bit, and you always like to start off with what initially got you to want to work in, pursue a career in animation.
Well, I hadn't always wanted to work in animation, actually. I always wanted to do comics. I've wanted to since probably the age of 3. I think that's when I drew my first comic. I was like super inspired by Bone and Jeff Smith. He's like my ultimate idol. I mean, I have like so much Bone crud behind me that you could see if you squint really hard. Just cover it up so I don't look like a super fan.
Oh man, I'm not even familiar with that one. I haven't heard of that before.
Oh, Bone's like one of the best-selling indie comics of all time. But
Oh, okay.
anyway, I used to like draw all the time in notebooks and like kind of learned from mimicking him and learning from other indie comics and stuff. And I thought I was pretty good at drawing when I was in college. And when I was in college, there was no animation program in my school when I was a freshman. But when I was a senior, I saw that there was this thing called character design, and it was taught by Tom Bancroft. And I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. I'll go check that out. I'm like graduating this year. Might as well go check it out. And pretty much the world of animation was opened up to me, and he was not easy on me. And I think maybe he saw something in me, like a nugget of this kid's gonna like not gonna stop. So
Nice.
I just like tried animating for the first time and was bit by the bug, and now here I am animating all the time.
What was your first like job in the industry?
The first one I had, I was actually working with Tom. We were working on the DLC for Cuphead, the game.
Oh, sick.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was like before it was like I don't even know if it was announced yet or not. I can't remember, but he was working on it and some other animators were working on it, and I was just doing his in-betweens, and he would give me like some really simple shots to do myself and not tell the people at Cuphead.
Nice.
Because it's like technically wasn't allowed. But Yeah, it was really fun, but none of the stuff that we did, I don't think it actually made it into the game because once we finished, they decided that they were going to add dialogue or lip sync or whatever for the like
Uh,
cutscenes that we were doing.
yeah.
So when we were doing them, they weren't actually dialogue and didn't have any script or anything. It was just kind of like pantomime.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
So I still have those old pencil tests, but it's like similar to what was in the game, but
Mm.
nothing I did was in the game anymore.
Ah, dude, that'd be so sick. We could show that. That would be amazing. Yeah, I did Cuphead. I know, before we hopped on off air, we were talking about like back in the day we would play video games. It used to frustrate us.
Oh yeah,
We would either like
that
break
yeah, that
controllers
one
or
definitely. I got knocks on my dorm room door. My buddy and I played through all of it, and I used to get so
Oh,
mad.
oh man.
oh.
I just remembered something from my childhood that it pissed me off so much. So one of the guys that I used to game with is actually one of the guys I live with now.
Mm,
When we've known each other since we were like 13 years old.
mm,
But there was another guy we used to hang out with, and we would all play. It was back in the Nintendo 64 days when Super Smash Brothers, the first one, came out.
mm.
Oh yeah,
The three of us would all gather at the one guy's house and play Super Smash Brothers, and I would typically win. I was usually the one that won in the group. But my other friend, he played with Pikachu, and he was a really sore loser.
oh
So
no,
anytime it looked like he was about to lose, he would jump up and turn off the Nintendo 64.
oh god.
He would call it the spirit of Pikachu. He's like, "Oh no, the spirit of Pikachu interfered. Nobody knows what would have happened."
Dude, you could shoot.
And so to this day, between me and my other roommate, like anytime like something really frustrating happens, we're like, "Spirit of Pikachu."
Oh, that's crazy. Uh,
That's pretty
uh,
funny.
Pika Pika, man.
Yeah.
Who was your main in Smash Brothers now, though? That's the real
Uh,
question. 'Cause I feel like it
on
says a lot about you, who you pick.
Mm.
on Nintendo 64, it was originally Kirby, and then I liked Captain Falcon a little bit, but my main was Kirby. But then they completely nerfed Kirby when Melee came out, so
Boo.
I basically just moved on to other characters. In the newest game, I really like Ridley and Bowser. Actually, my favorite character in the newest game is Baby Bowser. He's hilarious
Mm.
to play with, and all of his moves are dick moves. It's like if you know how to use him, he's really difficult to hit. Like he's really good at like running around fast and dodging, and he's got moves that get him out of the way. Like
Mhm. Oh
Mine
man.
is Mr. Game and Watch because he's an asshole.
oh, you're again.
Like,
Nice, nice. I've never known anybody who played Game and Watch. That's good. That's good.
because you don't know any assholes. Well, now you do.
Oh man. Dude.
Oh no, my
We lost Kyle.
camera.
We lost Kyle.
Kyle.
Oh, can you guys hear me or?
We can hear
Yes.
you. Yeah. Yeah, just your
Okay, so
camera's
my-
off. Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea what happened. Let me see if I can fix that.
Nah, we know what happened, Kyle. The
There we
spirit,
go.
the spirit of Pikachu.
Spirit of
Spirit of
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Spirit of Pikachu.
Oh my god. That's gonna be used so often in this conversation now. Yeah, I had a buddy who's Game & Watch. I wouldn't call him an asshole, but he was strongly worded individual. He had views that you couldn't question him all. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, we played so much Melee in college. Yeah, at 64, I used Luigi just because I loved the perfectly timed
okay.
the fire uppercut, which is too much fun to land and KO people with. Moving on, just because I always play female characters in like fighting game type of situations, so I would just use Sheik. Never use Zelda.
Okay.
I would just
Classic.
like run up and just smack people, and I would just always be running off the ledge if you're trying to come back in and just spike you down. So. Or I'll just be that annoying guy where it didn't really do any damage, but if you were just on like hanging on the ledge, I would just use the whip and just keep shocking you with it.
Yep. Nice.
And then once you finally got out the ledge, then I'll spike you back down again. So, oh, man, I wish I had a Switch, bro. I always tell my buddies like, I just can't bring myself to buy one just because it's like time and money and stuff. But they'll be like, "Well, what do you play on it? Just Smash." I just have one game, and I'm like, I just couldn't justify the price point just to play one game like that. I'm like, but that's what I want to have it for sure. So
For sure.
it's funny it came up, Smash Brothers. All those late nights, bro. We had projects to get done. We went to Art Institute and we would just always be crunching last minute to get our projects in because we'd be playing Smash all night.
It's probably good you don't have a Switch. They're very addicting.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Take it with you everywhere. Oh, no.
Mhm.
So, did you actually go to an art school or you just landed work from that professor you met at college? And
I went to just like a generalized school
Mhm.
called Lipscomb University, but I went for business the first time around.
Hmm.
I thought that I could just do comics when I graduated and be successful. I was like, well, that's easy. That's wrong. Uh, thank God they started like an animation wing of the school because there was like a fine arts department, but
Mhm.
it was like painting theory, and I would be like, this wasn't my thing. Which now I kind of wish I took those classes because like the one thing I wish I could do is like paint really well. So,
Mm, yeah.
but yeah,
No, I hear you on that, dude. I always did like black and white. That's why when I had observational drawing, we had charcoal. I'm like, oh, thank God. I just work in shades of
yeah,
black.
yeah. There you go.
I am like Kyle, dude. We live in darkness.
Yeah.
Half of my wardrobe is just black everything. But yeah, but I was always bad at color, you know. So I always had that feeling too of like I really wish I had like fine art painting. When I found computer and I discovered, you know, Control Z, you know, that became
Oh yeah.
the motto throughout college, you know. You would screw up, you
Mhm.
would do some random mistake, Control Z, you just undo everything. At least in the on the
Yeah.
computer. In life, some audibles you can't correct, but you know.
When you find yourself like doing the Control Z movement on a piece of paper, you know you need to take a break. I've been there for sure.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, dude. So moving on from Cuphead, yeah, what other projects did you like, you know, do like work on like after that?
Cuphead was the first like major project I had, and then I worked on some like just smaller stuff with people like around in Nashville and things that, like kind of like cut your teeth kind of work.
Hmm.
And then when the pandemic hit, I got like my first, I would say, really real job through Space Jam: A New Legacy.
We did a test for that. We didn't land it, but I worked on a test for that.
It was a crazy production. It was fun,
Hmm.
but it was like it was wild. Yeah, that was a wild time. I just remember like every day at a certain point, we would call in with the director of the film,
Hmm.
Spike, and he always like would open his Zoom and he'd be looking like this, like every day, and he wasn't smiling. And
Is that like a power play?
I have no idea. And he always had a fedora on. It was great. And like my
Amazing.
friend, one of my best friends was working on it at the same time,
Yeah.
with John Pomeroy. So like we would be in the meetings at the same time, and we would just text each other pictures of Bowser because we kept saying Spike looked like Bowser, just like how scary he was. On that film, I didn't have a lot of like really big shots. I had smaller things like hands and like incidental characters in the background and stuff, like
Mhm.
first job type shots.
Yeah.
But I remember I used to get my shots like through like on the first pass most of the time, which was great. And I remember there was this one
Nice.
shot that Spike did not let go through for like 6 months. It was like it was
Six
like a long time.
months.
It was a
Wow.
long time. It was like one of those shots that you just saw in every dailies. Yeah, it's
Oh
wild.
no.
Oh
And it was like
man.
an effects one, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was a wild time.
Yeah.
And then from that, I went and I worked on Tom's animation documentary that he made, which ultimately was called Pencils versus Pixels, I think.
Hmm.
Forgot what it was called at the time. It had a different name. I think it was
Hmm.
called Pencil Test. And yeah, that was really fun because I got to like animate this little character that originally it was supposed to be like throughout the film,
Hmm.
but then they ended up putting it just in the credits, like go through all the credit shots, which was really cool. So I got to do
Okay.
that
Yeah.
around the same time. And then I got to work on Disenchanted, and that was wild. That was really, really wild. That was like very difficult.
Mm.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was it just I think that movie, like if you ask anybody who worked on it, it just had issues from like start to finish. was just one of those projects that never had like a moment of peace,
Oh
to put
man.
it lightly.
Yeah.
So that one was crazy. But I actually had basically a deal with Tom Bancroft at the time to work for his studio that he was starting.
Hmm.
So I left Disenchanted after a few months. I think it was like 4 to 6 months. Can't remember.
Mhm.
And so, because I already had commitments with Tom, I was working on a lot of his productions
Mhm.
for a good year and a half, maybe. I did a lot of animating for like basically all of his shows. So like
Mhm.
since basically 2020 to now, I've just been like constantly animating, which has been like really lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know how I've been that lucky to like have a 2D career,
Mhm.
like just for 5 years straight. Every year I'm like, "Whew, did it again." But I can't do
Yep.
anything
For
else.
sure.
So, but yeah, it's just been a wild time. Worked on short films like with Pixar. That was probably the most fun I've had, was working with Pixar, because they were so
Mm.
kind and laid back. A lot of productions people are always stressed and angry. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
for
like
sure.
Yeah.
don't have time to like say anything nice ever.
Mhm.
So that one was really cool. And I got to go to Pixar, which was great. So that was like the reward for partaking in
Oh, for sure.
that. And the friends that I met, because everyone was just like really, really kind. It was awesome.
No, that's great, dude. Yeah, I have a buddy of mine. I don't know if I'll ever be able to bring him on. He's a very busy guy, but yeah, he's been at Disney for like ever since Frozen 2. Um,
Oh boy.
and he's like a matte painter.
Oh wow.
His greatest achievement, it's always like, yeah, he does like a great shot that he showed for like Encanto, and then he's super
Cool.
stoked to have worked on like all the Moana films, because he's
Oh
Hawaiian.
yeah.
So,
Oh cool.
and it's great, that whole environment, because he's got like two little girls. So like the fact that they can always have like there's always a family event, there's always
Oh yeah.
premieres, there's always stuff that's family oriented. So like
That's so fun.
yeah, he's had nothing but like positive and great things to say about being at Disney and still being there.
Yeah, I think the culture at the studio and like the work balance at the studio must be amazing. The Disney that I worked for was like Disney Studios. It wasn't the animation studios. So I was like working for like the people that run live action, who were then running
Oh, okay.
animation that didn't know how to do it, kind of thing.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So it was one of those.
Uh-huh.
So they like, I think it was the same people that made the first one, but they lucked out because the first time all the animation was done by James Baxter, who knew what he was doing.
Mhm.
So James Baxter was not on the second one.
Mm, right on. Um, Dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so I think we're getting like close to like present, and so we could probably move on to talking about you deciding to form your own studio, man. Like what
Yeah.
went into that to form Fresco Studios?
Um, it was like a lot of little factors that all kind of happened at once. Like during all that time from like 2020 to about 2023, which I think is when I decided to like form it. Um, I'd worked for a lot of studios, and a lot of the projects I was seeing at the time, I just felt like weren't displaying what I wanted to see in animation, which was just like a truly whimsical, fun, magical project.
Mm,
And so I was just getting so inspired by Studio Ghibli around that time. I never really watched a Studio Ghibli film until 2020. So it was like big time inspiration just all at once.
mhm.
And watching like those documentaries of like Miyazaki making things, I was just like, oh, it seems like, well, if he could do it, I could do it. So that was the mentality. And my friends and I all like wanted to do, like in college, we were like, oh, we should make our own studio and kind of pass the hat of like making a project each, and like, "Oh, I'll direct this one, you direct that one, blah blah blah." And
Mhm.
life kind of got in the way of that being reality, and like also we realized what it takes to make something like good. So
Yeah.
like it was just like unrealistic, but
Mm.
all those people still eventually helped on Axoloodyssey in some way, whether it was heavy-handed or just one thing here or there. But the studio is really just kind of a name for this project at this point.
Okay.
So, because I know you like launched a Kickstarter, right? And
Hmm.
hmm Yeah, I know that's like something that everyone's jumping on, like, oh yeah, just launch a Kickstarter. It's great.
Yeah.
It'll just work, just raise all this money and it's gonna be awesome. These are just magical. But yeah, if you don't mind shedding some light on like what's that process actually look like?
It's so strange. Nowadays, like, yeah, I do see a lot of people like wanting to A, start their own studio, or B, start a Kickstarter for their own studio for their short film.
Hmm.
And like, I don't think this is probably going to sound controversial, but I don't think every short film needs to have a really big budget to make, especially if you're in
Hmm.
college.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in college, I don't think you need to make a funded short film. That's like no one did it before you. I don't think anyone needs to still do it. The kind of thing. But yeah, Kickstarter is like it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of stress at the same time. I remember being like really stressed making it because you have to take into account so much.
Hmm.
And like, first of all, it's like making the whole page as like marketable as possible to
Hmm.
whoever doesn't know
Yeah.
about the project or
Yeah.
someone who knows about it but is not like is on the fence of like wanting to help out in some way.
Hmm.
So that's like step number one.
Yeah.
That's really challenging. But then number two, the part that probably no one in our industry is ever really prepared for is like the budgeting. It's like really difficult.
Mm.
And so you have to like be a little realistic. Like my producer, when we made it together, she was like, budget for the least amount of money you would make something for,
Mm.
and then use that as your standard. So that like if you at
Mm.
least make this, then you know you can make it for that, which I think is really smart.
For sure.
Um, and like the first time around, we did a Kickstarter. We were asking for 50,000, but we came really, really close in the last 10 seconds, but we didn't get it. So the second time around, I did 30,000, and we had already made basically half of the first half of the film just off of like my undying desire to make the movie.
Mm.
So yeah, and like lucky friends that I had that wanted to make it with me.
Mm.
That's kind of how like we had more to show the second time around. We were like, look, we've been making this the whole time already. So
For sure.
I think like one thing that's really important when you're doing a Kickstarter is not only like a fandom that you have and not only like making it really marketable, but also actually having something to show that's
Mm.
gonna like make someone care. That's the really
Yeah.
hard part.
Mm.
Now you have to compete with so many people that are doing it because everyone's thinking, well, if that guy can do it, I can do it.
Mm.
And so many people are out of work and whatnot. So
Yep.
they're looking to do their own thing for the first time or whatever, which is good. It's great. Like I think Kickstarter rocks, but
Mhm.
it's definitely hard when you see like 50 people asking for money all at once.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I get notifications, because I backed a couple projects, just because it's something like, oh, I want to play that, I want to watch that,
Right.
or I want to own whatever that they're like, on a collectible or something that they're promoting. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but when I'm in a rut, you know,
Hmm.
or you get notifications like five things show up in the same week, and you're like,
Yeah.
can I
And
just
one of the
save this for later?
right. And one of the hardest things I think to like kickstart is definitely something animated because you're not
Mm.
ending up with something truly tangible that you could hold.
Yeah.
Like one of the actually the one thing that makes the most creatively on Kickstarter is board games. Ironically,
Mm.
like I wouldn't think that board games make that much, but board games they made ton on Kickstarter this past year, and then
Hmm.
I think below that video games, and then comic books, and then animation.
Oh wow.
The difference between animation and board games was massive.
Mm. Yeah, because I was going to say like with the advent of like 3D printers, right? Like it's so much easier to design and print, and then you could build your molds, and then you can like work with the manufacturer because you like already have the molds done. Like you just gotta print these in mass for me of a certain
Right.
quality, and then to get things printed out too, like the little card sheets and
Hmm.
everything.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I imagine that would be so much easier and like you said, tangible, especially with the really cool
Hmm.
designs. Because you're like, oh, I want to
Right.
just leave them out too, and just like have them on the shelf,
Hmm.
and decorate.
Speaking of which, one of my like really high tiers the first time in this Kickstarter was this figure.
Oh,
And
nice.
I have like the first one, and they are 3D printed by my friend in town, but she hand paints them and like hand airbrushes them. So
Mm-hmm.
we made a few of these, and I ship everything out for that Kickstarter probably next month when
Oh, sick.
all the books and all the last few doodads come in. But that'll be one of the things that we ship out. Kyle, I don't know if you ever saw this, but
Oh, no, that's awesome.
yeah,
Looks so good.
it
Nice.
does look really good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, everything. Every time you posted some like merch stuff in the chats, it all looks like quality stuff.
We try. We try. I like my mentality when it comes to like making something is like, would I buy it? Like
Mm.
if it's I basically
Yeah.
just make what I want. So
Yeah, that's
I'm,
fair.
I'm
That's
getting
fair.
what I want.
Nice.
Hope that every other person wants what I want.
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, I think that's really cool. Like, especially when you build a fandom, it's like, people are down for what you're making, and a lot of people
Mm,
are aligned with like, yeah, like they like the same stuff I do, like they also want to see this kind of thing. And you don't have to
right.
like, I think it's the worst thing is like when you're like, like doubting yourself and like questioning, like you're double back, you're like, is this what people like this? What people like that? But
Right.
I think you built enough of a following to where like, like people are excited for it. People want to, put that little guy on their desk um
Yeah.
and definitely like, and you receive that art book. Yeah, dude. So if you want to go more into just talking about the short, when you work on those kind of projects, that's what helps cut through because there's something that's different about it. It's that human
Right.
element that AI fails to replicate.
I guess you could think that the story of Axoloodyssey is Ho-Ho just trying to save his grandpa. Grandpa, no!
Donate to his, GoFundMe page.
He doesn't need food, but he needs a ticket to France.
There we go. We got a whole new campaign for you, man. Let's get some plushies made of Ho-Ho and in France.
It always feels really good to know that this thing I'm making is actually resonating with people, but I also met a lot of people that know what it was.
That's an axolotl?
I knew it was true.
just give me a moment. Just do it. Take it in.